Okay, so this is the Accelerated and Enriched Instruction team. Most of this team is here with us this evening. Um, Team, would you like to just quickly introduce yourselves? Just come off mute. Um, we'll start with Elise,
Good evening. My name is Elise Antoine, Instructional Specialist.
Hyman,
Hello, my name is Iman Parker, and I am also an instructional specialist.
Abby,
Good evening. My name is Abby Hendricks, and I'm also an instructional specialist.
Alyssa,
Hi, glad you're all here. My name is Alyssa Soriton, and I'm an instructional specialist.
and Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Jackson. I am the Twice Exceptional Instructional Specialist.
And the few that are not here with us tonight, we have Sylvia, who is our admin, and she helps run our office and keep us on track. Michael Duchel, and he's an instructional specialist, and Jennifer Scavula is our AP/IB coordinator. So the core work of our office is based on various standards, policies, and regulations that stem from the national level and funnels down to the state and local levels to directly impact teaching and learning to ensure our students graduate from MCPS college and career ready. The National Association of Gifted Children Pre-K through 12 Gifted Programming Standards, which are the NAGC Pre-K through 12 Gifted Programming Standards that provide a framework for developing and implementing effective gifted education programs. The MSDE has a gifted and talented code of regulations which states that each school system must provide services beyond what the regular school program provides in order to develop the gifted and talented students' potential. One of the pillars of our Montgomery County Public Schools strategic plan is academic excellence. And Goal 1 states all students will demonstrate high levels of academic achievement and growth. Objective 7 states that MCPS will provide programmatic and discrete opportunities for all students to demonstrate innovation and enrichment to enhance learning experiences. AEI is a part of the Department of Teaching and Learning, and the goal is to provide support and resources to help schools differentiate instruction for students identified as gifted and talented, and those who have the motivation or potential to achieve at high levels. Lastly, schools K through 12 are responsible for providing equitable access to enrichment through acceleration and differentiation. Enrichment means giving students the opportunity to go deeper or broader in their learning instead of simply moving faster through the regular curriculum, which is called acceleration. So whether students receive enrichment in the general classroom or in a magnet program, you can expect students to collaborate with academic peers who also are ready for more challenge, ready to explore topics more fully, engage with open-ended tasks, ask more advanced questions, create more complex products, or make connections that go beyond what everyone else is doing. So you will see in our presentation this evening that as students progress through elementary school, enrichment opportunities expand and deepen.
We are pleased to present part 1 of a 3-part series designed to share information regarding the various enrichment opportunities available to diploma-bound students in K through grade 5 in Montgomery County Public Schools. This session presentation is structured to illustrate the journey of 3 MCPS elementary school students and the various opportunities for enrichment across content areas. Our intent is to provide the audience with just enough information to have a general understanding of the enrichment programming options K-5 without going into too much detail. More specific information about what enrichment opportunities are available at your school and how they are implemented is accessible by contacting your school's administrators, gifted and talented liaison, staff development teacher, and reading specialist. MCPS serves a growing and diverse student population with unique strengths, backgrounds, and learning needs. Our enrichment pathways are designed to challenge and support students across all zip codes and demographic groups. This evening, we will present 3 elementary student learner profiles: Elena, Quill, and Lux. Lux is a curious and motivated kindergarten student who loves to learn how things work by asking lots of how and why questions. He likes to figure out how things work. Lux is also great at sharing his ideas and working with classmates. While in kindergarten, Lux has the opportunity to engage in primary talent development, PTD. PTD is a science-based critical and creative thinking curriculum for all students in kindergarten through grade 2 attending a Title I school. Students receive instructional lessons in their classroom from a primary talent development coach. In kindergarten through grade 2, there are 2 learning modules per semester that focus on developing learning behaviors associated with gifted and advanced learners. Coaches use essential strategies designed to provide challenge and build students' critical and creative thinking. Student potential is documented through kid watching and collecting work samples in student portfolios. The first semester module in kindergarten is called All About Attributes. It encourages students to think like a scientist. Throughout the lessons, Lux will manipulate materials, analyze attributes, solve analogies, and explore real-world items to see patterns and relationships in mathematics and science. During second semester, Lux will engage in a module called A Sense of Wonder, which encourages students to wonder about their world. Throughout the lessons, students will use questions to approach problems and make inferences. The learning behaviors and essential strategies serve as the foundation for subsequent grade 1 and grade 2 primary talent development modules.
Last school year, MCPS adopted the Core Knowledge Language Arts curriculum, also known as CKLA. In kindergarten, during the literacy block, students have enrichment opportunities embedded into the curriculum. Challenges are written into select lessons in skills units and knowledge domains. These challenges can show up as alternate questions or tasks intended to provide teachers with small, in-the-moment opportunities to provide enrichment and further students' thinking. Challenges within lessons increase in frequency and complexity as students move up in grade levels. In the knowledge domain shown here, Lux and his classmates read the Japanese folktale Momotaro Peach Boy. The main character in the story, Momotaro, is very brave. The students read to find out how Momotaro is a hero. Here you see examples of literal questions and the challenge question, both provided by CKLA. Literal questions are right there questions that can be answered by going back to the text. Challenge questions offer the depth and complexity that advanced readers like Lux need to be cognitively engaged. In addition to the challenge tasks, the first grade CKLA curriculum offers enrichment opportunities through what they call culminating activities and pausing point days. Culminating activities provide opportunities for students to solidify their content knowledge in interesting and creative ways. Culminating activity choices allow teachers to select the activities that students will get the most from. These activities can be done whole class or in small groups depending on student need. Pausing point days are designed to expand the abilities of students who are able to go further with their skills and knowledge during a unit. In the culminating activity examples here, Lux and his classmates read fairy tales and folk tales from different generations and cultures. This provides students with the opportunity to extend their learning with choice activities. These hands-on activities help children develop literacy, creativity, and cultural awareness while having fun with stories from around the globe. Students have the option to different land exploration. This is where students have the opportunity to discover countries and continents on a map while connecting folk tales to their places of origin around the world. There's the option to create student books, where students create their own folk tales with illustrations and text, practicing storytelling skills from beginning to end. Then we have the onstage performance, where students can bring folk tales to life through acting, using dialogue and emotions to share stories with classmates. And finally, there's the trade book review, where your child has the opportunity to revisit some of their favorite folk tales and other variations, deepening understanding through discussion and comparison.
MCPS students use the Eureka Math curriculum to engage with Maryland College and Career Ready math standards. Students have a variety of academic strengths and needs that can be met with Eureka Math. Our first grader, Lux, has demonstrated success with sums and differences in needs enrichment. There are 4 tiers of enriched support students can receive as part of their elementary mathematics experience, regardless of course enrollment. Teachers enrich instruction beginning at Tier 1 and move to successive tiers if students progress and exhibit a need for increased rigor during daily lessons. The level of math enrichment a student needs can change depending on the topic. A child might need extra challenges for one math unit, but not for another. And sometimes they may not need enrichment at all if the core curriculum provides an appropriate level of challenge. In this grade 1 math lesson, the teacher uses a Tier 2 strategy called Turn the Question Around to enrich learning. Instead of giving students a standard problem, the teacher provides a condition and asks students to find different ways to show their reasoning. In the original problem, students are solving a number bond with the whole as 10. Since Lux has already shown strong understanding in number operations in base 10 unit, which focuses on place value and multi-digit arithmetic, his teacher modified his problem so he must find multiple ways to make the whole number 10. Lux will need to think more deeply about his understanding of the whole and find multiple answers. This approach encourages deeper thinking and flexibility with numbers. Enrichment isn't about being given more work, it's about offering different, more challenging work that meets each student's needs. This is Elena. She loves science. She comprehends abstract concepts beyond her grade level peers and always finds a connection between science and other subject areas. She demonstrates strengths in reasoning and creative problem solving. The MCPS science curriculum design starts by sparking curiosity around phenomena. Each unit allows students to drive their learning by asking questions related to the selected science domain. Not only do these learning and teaching structures support all learners, but there are additional enrichment opportunities in the lesson sequence. Here, you will see an example of what Elena would experience in grade 2. The class will explore their schoolyard for diversity of life. To expand on this learning engagement, Elena will work with a different scale. She will not only look at the surrounding grounds, but will consider how it changes 100 feet away from the perimeter, such as a nearby pond.
Then there's Quill, who is an avid reader. He loves reading and writing stories. Quill has a broad imagination. His head is always full of epic sagas and characters who solve impossible mysteries. The instructional team at his school realized his strengths in reading and writing and recommended that he receive literacy enrichment in 3rd grade. In 3rd grade, during daily focused instructional time, also known as FIT, Quill receives additional literacy enrichment, which incorporates resources developed by the Accelerated and Enriched Instruction, AEI, office. He reads novels and completes choice tasks and engages in peer-to-peer discussions to develop critical thinking. Elena, Quill, and Lux all participate in the Grade 3 Central Review process, along with all diploma-bound 3rd graders across the county. The next slide will explain the process and illustrate 3 possible results of the Grade 3 Central Review process. Elena did not meet the Central Review criteria. This means she will remain at her home school, which we also call the local school. Quill met the central criteria. His name was pulled at random from the lottery, and his parents accepted the invitation to the elementary magnet program known as the Centers for Enriched Studies, or CES. Lux also met the central criteria, but his family decided to remain at their home school and receive literacy enrichment there. The Grade 3 Central Review process aims to consider the academic profile of all students in the grade level and make a recommendation for students who should receive literacy enrichment, which may be provided at the local school or in a regional program. This is a centralized process and one of the ways students are recommended for enrichment. This process uses marking period 2 data from reading, writing, and social studies, along with winter map R scores. During marking period 2, data is gathered and evaluated by central office. Students who meet the established criteria are entered into a lottery pool, and names are randomly selected and invited to participate in the regional program, or CES. There are 9 regional sites and 4 local sites across the county. Students whose name is drawn from the Grade 3 Central Review lottery pool are invited to the CES program for grades 4 and 5. The Centers for Enriched Studies is a humanities-based program of study with a curriculum design that is based on best practices and strategies from gifted education. Students who meet the criteria but are not invited from the lottery pool must receive enriched literacy at their local school. Local schools monitor for enrichment needs and can add students with similar academic learning profiles to enrichment groups. Note that students locally identified for enrichment at their local school are not placed in the wait pool for the CES program. Students who do not meet the criteria for Grade 3 Central Review may be placed in an on-level course at their local elementary school and engage in the CKLA literacy curriculum. Also, as the local school continues to monitor student data, students may be grouped to receive enrichment opportunities embedded in the general CKLA curriculum. Elena is passionately interested in specific topics such as real-world issues. Her strengths are in math and science, and she is a voracious reader of informational texts. While Elena did not meet the central criteria for literacy enrichment, the instructional team reviewed additional data to determine she should be placed in the enriched literacy group at her school. Local schools were given the choice between two literacy enrichment models in grades 4 and 5, both of which were based on the Core Knowledge Language Arts CKLA curriculum. Elena's school opted to implement Model 2 CKLA with enrichment overlays. The overlays provided by AEI ensured that enrichment was seamlessly connected to the instruction students were already receiving in CKLA. The overlays included high-level questioning based on the depth and complexity framework and challenging tasks that require the creative application of skills and knowledge. These enhanced plans and resources are integrated in the school's literacy block. Additionally, students receive enrichment during focused instructional time, FIT, with enrichment resources provided by AEI. Students participate in whole class, small group, and individual enrichment. In classrooms implementing Model 2, a big component of the overlays is the depth and complexity framework. This framework includes icons that drive prompts used to spark high-level critical and creative thinking that allows students like Elena to gain a deeper understanding of specific topics. The big idea of the Grade 5 Unit 2 Early American Civilization Unit is that large complex civilizations, including those of the Maya, Aztec, and Inca, developed in the Americas before the arrival of Europeans. This unit presents an overall history and timeline highlighting the rise and fall of the Maya, Aztec, and Inca civilizations. In addition, the unit describes innovations and discoveries of the Maya, Aztec, and Inca, and features myths from these ancient civilizations. Here are two examples of depth and complexity prompts from the Early American Civilization unit. They encourage Elena and her academic peers to transfer learning across disciplines and consider multiple perspectives and ethical dilemmas. In the overlays, there are also replacement tasks that take the place of the CKLA content. For example, this lesson asks teachers to engage students in a think, pair, share. Students are asked to discuss the question, what were the key causes of the decline of the powerful Inca Empire? While the replacement task, Circle of Viewpoints, requires students to analyze an issue and share their viewpoint. This routine helps students see and explore multiple perspectives. It helps them understand that different people can have different kinds of connections to the same thing, and that these different connections influence what people see and think. Here is Lux in his local school. Lux's family declined the invitation to CES. Lux has a strong peer group at his home school, and his family is happy with his progress. Lux's school chose Model 1, the adjusted pacing model for literacy enrichment. This model focuses on acceleration within the core grade level content, specifically by removing pausing point days from the CKLA curriculum. This adjustment allows students to engage in an additional unit of knowledge within the same school year. Schools implementing Model 1 also have the flexibility to implement the enrichment overlays developed for Model 2, should they wish to add depth to the accelerated content. Additionally, students receive enrichment during focused instructional time, fit, with enrichment resources provided by AEI, and students participate in whole class, small group, and individual enrichment.
Quill's name was added to the lottery pool for a regional CES program. He and his family were excited when he received the invite to the CES and they accepted. At the CES, Quill receives appropriately challenging literacy instruction by exploring complex issues across content areas, reading above grade level texts, participating in weekly literature circles, and conducting more in-depth research. As a student in the CES, Quill engages in curriculum units that are standards-based and concept-based and require him to transfer and apply learning to science and social studies, concepts, and content. He regularly participates in shared inquiry discussions and debates, as well as weekly literature circles to deepen comprehension of complex texts and provide exposure to multiple perspectives. There is a greater emphasis on writing for different purposes, engaging in the research process, and presenting findings both orally and in writing. Towards the end of the year, Quill and his peers plan and present an authentic gemstone project, which is where students collaboratively reflect on what they've learned throughout the year and decide on a creative format to synthesize their learning. The gemstone project is presented to school peers and/or the larger community. Past gemstone projects have included TED Talks, science expos, Shark Tank presentations, original operas and plays, murals, and escape rooms, to name a few. Elena learns concepts quickly and can apply concepts to new learning easily. Based on her math data, she is placed in Accelerated Math 4-5, where she receives instruction on all fourth grade and some fifth grade math standards in her fourth grade math block. In the charts shown on the screen are sample pacing calendars that teachers would use in fourth grade. Students in Math 4 will engage in the listed Eureka math units called modules over the 4 marking periods, while students like Elena, enrolled in Accelerated Math 4-5 course, will complete the grade 4 Eureka modules before the end of the year and complete 3 modules of Eureka's grade 5 curriculum. Students in the accelerated course tend to grasp math concepts more easily and typically have the ability to apply their mathematical knowledge in new ways, allowing them to learn new math topics. Quill demonstrates a solid understanding of math concepts, applying grade level skills accurately across most tasks, and shows confidence with foundational operations. Quill benefits from enrichment opportunities that challenge his reasoning, such as open-ended problems and logic-based puzzles. He deepens his conceptual understanding across mathematical domains. Quill is at the Center for Enriched Studies, enrolled in the grade 4 math course. The Math 4 course does provide students with unique opportunities to be challenged using the tiers of enrichment. On the slide is an example of a Tier 3 enrichment where the teachers provide students with a different problem than those offered in the on-grade level Eureka math materials. While students are in the multi-digit whole number additional topic of Module 1, Quill is given his carnival ticket math problem based on his formative and summative data. This Tier 3 approach replaces a component of the Eureka lesson, such as the application problem or the 10-minute problem set. In this grade 5 Unit 3 science lesson, students explore how astronomers classify stars by size, luminosity, and color. Let's look again at Lux, who is naturally curious and eager to extend his learning. His class is investigating how distance affects the brightness of stars and using data to support their claims. For enrichment, students who are ready for a deeper challenge will apply their understanding to classify stars based on luminosity and mass. They'll also practice key science skills, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information to extend their learning about the relationship between distance and brightness.
Thank you for joining us and our 3 students, Elena, Quill, and Lux, through their elementary enrichment journey. Even though they attended different schools and had unique enrichment experiences, they all felt great about what they achieved. Seeing the literacy and math enrichment markers on their report card through the years brought them a certain level of pride. The ongoing feedback from their teachers on challenging work was key to their development. They had learned the value of a good challenge, and that lesson was the perfect thing to carry them. As they closed this chapter, Elena, Quill, and Lux were confident and eager to start the next adventure in middle school. But that's great. We now have more 4s and 5s and 3s. We started out with 0s and 1s and 2s for the most part. And now we mostly have 3s, 4s, and 5s. So that's great. You guys did learn something. You have a better understanding. We do know that there may be some other questions that you have. But hopefully we did answer the majority of your questions either directly or through this open discussion. So tomorrow evening, we will be talking about middle school enrichment. We hope that those of you that have middle school students are able to join us, or if you're simply interested in seeing and hearing about what middle school enrichment looks like, we hope that you guys can join us. These will be our students. We have Lynn, Mateo, Zola, and Astrid. Can't wait for you guys to meet them and learn more about them and their enrichment journey in middle school. As a reminder, the recording for tonight will be placed on our MCPS YouTube channel. We are going to put the link within the agenda that's associated with the webinars through these bit.lys. But also it will be a link on the Accelerated and Enriched Instruction website. And so you'll be able to access the recordings there as well. So we need about a week in order to get everything posted, to get the links posted. So the last sessions that we have for you guys, I talked about middle school enrichment for tomorrow. Then we have our part 3 session, which is all about the gifted and talented identification process. We will also talk about the cognitive abilities test that is coming up in December for our grade 2 students and some of our grade 4 students that were not here to take COGAT last year. And then part 4, we're going to close it out with what does advanced academics and choice look like in high school. So part 2 is tomorrow, November 5th. Part 3 is November 19th. And part 4 is December 3rd. Thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate you being here with us and learning more about enrichment in elementary school. And we look forward to hopefully you joining us again tomorrow evening.